And welcome back, and welcome to Speed Round. I think this is the fourth speed round video we've done. Speed Round, Chapter 4, Number 4, whatever. As always, these are just the fights that I assumed. I looked at it, I'm like, okay, these are not going to be very in-depth. They would go by too quick for an actual video. So let's just talk about it, shall we? Shan't we? Shan't we now? So first up we have from, and I probably wrote these names too. Michelle B. I'm just gonna say Michelle B. Who asked the question: who would win a fight, Cad Bane from Star Wars versus Tikitobi from the Creepypasta series? This became pretty obvious. Tikitobi, while capable as a serial killer, is not a Jedi. A Jedi could definitely take down Tikitobi, and if a Jedi could take down Tikitobi, then a Jedi hunter like Cad Bane could definitely do that. By the way, it was actually really cool to see him in the Book of Boba Fett. I'm like, cool, they made him live action. It looks great. And he was cool. I liked him. Whether or not he actually survived that, I guess we'll wait and see. But no, I mean, Tikitobi, for all of his, a few minor abilities he has, I believe he's the one, is it him or... not Eyeless Jack. I think it's him who has the who's incapable of feeling pain. I think it's him. Correct me, you creepypasters, in the comments below if I'm wrong. But even if he is or isn't, blastable, head, boom. Cad Bane's quick draw is like, boom. Yeah, he's a little stealthy, but look again, he's gone up against how many Jedi? This would be a non-starter fight. In my opinion, it would be a non-starter fight. So next up we had Jigsaw versus Pinhead. Both torture their opponents. I can at least see the similarities here. This one came to us, by the way, from Leigh Vasquez. But both torture their individuals for their own respective gains. I can at least see the similarities here. It is a Cenobite reality warping hell demon versus a guy with cancer. What? Like, I'm sorry, none of the traps that Jigsaw would use. Well, he actually might be like game recognizes game. You know what? I respect. These don't do shit against me, but respect. Okay, James. Now there is one caveat to this fight. If Jigsaw were aware of the Cenobites, like actually aware of their existence and all that, and they were summoned and he maybe had been prepared, could he have found some way to torture them effectively? My best guess is no, because that is literally the world they live in. Like seriously, Pinhead is literally flayed and splayed out on his or her body, their body. The needles in there are constantly causing pain, so he constantly lives in a world of pain. I'm actually writing a story that it's basically a fanfic, but for my friends for Christmas, because one friend of mine did that, and we had a good time. So I said, I'll do that too. And he's a character that shows up in there, and I do reference the fact that he can be hurt and injured, and he talks, and there's a whole dog on him feeling pain, like this is different. This pain, it's not the pain of pleasure or torture he's used to. No, it's the pain of being injured, vulnerable, weak. Like that, there might be certain types of pain he still feels, but overall, no. The Pinhead would completely overwhelm him. So next up on the docket from Edmund L. We'll just say L. Is Akuma versus Broly. Whoa. And that's supposed to be down there. Let's just do that. No, let's go up there. Come on. There we go. Broly. Sorry, some of these I couldn't make a proper thumbnail for. I was using what I had on hand. So, but Akuma versus Broly. And look, I get that Akuma can destroy a soul. But there are limitations to that kind of ability. There are beings that are just far too powerful for something like that to even work on. There are people who can actually have like resistances to their souls and all that. And then there's people who would just annihilate you before you'd ever use that ability. Broly, even without a Super Saiyan transformation, even without an Ikari transformation, would be among those. Because even if you're, I assume we're talking about Dragon Ball Super Broly. If we're talking about DBZ Broly, then Akuma's still screwed because he's not going to use the Satsu Inohata on him until he goes Super Saiyan. And at that point, there's no way he's touching him at Super Saiyan because he's now a guy who's a easy planet buster, if not galaxy buster. And Broly is a reality buster. So, but again, if we just talk about base form Broly, this is a guy who went toe-to-toe with Super God-enhanced base form Vegeta, Super Saiyan Vegeta, and was still fighting evenly until Vegeta went into Super Saiyan God. Akuma, no one in the Street Fighter universe is a proper matchup for a lot of fighters. And it's a mismatch normally if you're doing Dragon Ball Z and Street Fighter. Normally, you'd have to use lower level fighters versus the higher level fighters. For example, Krillin versus like an M. Bison or Akuma is a lot more of an even match. And I'd even say there could be a strong argument to suggest that Akuma could take the edge in most versions of that fight. But against someone like Broly, even base form without a transformation, Broly would just annihilate him. Just annihilate him. Movement alone, he's moving at faster than light speed. So, and even if Akuma could light time, basically, would be the terminology, move at light speeds, doesn't really matter because, Broly's power is enough that he can destroy a planet even in base form. So, yeah. And Akuma, at his strongest, isn't even a planet buster. So, yeah, there you go for that. Luckily, I still have 2 more to go here. This next one comes to us from Godzilla, if I'm not mistaken. Godzilla! And that is who will win a fight, Shrek or Bowser. I get it. Rescue the princess from the Dragon's Keep. I get it. He's technically a turtle dragon. Cool. This guy is Shrek couldn't even beat the dragon. He could not beat Dragon at all. He is simply just an ogre. He's physically powerful. He's not dumb. But in terms of an actual fight, there's nothing he could do against Bowser. Bowser physically alone is, first off, way larger than him and therefore more physically powerful. Has the durability to just take hits from Mario. And he does not hit, and he's not a weak hitter. So then there's his Dragon Breath, the fact that he does know magic. He's like Bowser is just a completely different foe than anything Shrek has ever gone up against or could ever go up against. Honestly, I mean, except for maybe like someone like the Fairy Godmother with their magic, there's not a lot in the Shrek universe that could take on something like Bowser. Bowser's just way too strong of a foe. So yeah, Bowser would completely dominate Shrek. Which brings us to our last one. The last one today comes to us from the Great Sage, who asked the question, who won a fight? Rick Sanchez or Superman? Now there's 2 ways to look at this. Him first meeting Superman for the first time, Superman seeing him as a threat, and Rick knowing about Superman and then going up against Superman. Let's get the Batman scenario out of the way of him knowing against Superman, going into that dimension. Superman's just like, Rick Sanchez, you've been warned before about coming to this dimension. And Rick just pulls something out. It's like, that's enough. And I will not let you do anything irreverent. Yeah, cool. Just let me just do this. And just pull, like, literally just summons kryptonite. Kryptonite. What is it? All right, Morty, let's go. Like, that is legit the very realistic scenario that could happen. But let's be fair here and say, what would happen if they had just met for the first time? Rick would probably use Superman for his own. He's smart enough to probably outsmart Superman in what he needs him to do. When Superman finds this out, it's like, yeah, you're no better than Lex. I'm going to have to take you in. Yeah. And he pulls out his gun. Yeah, sorry about that later. And it just starts, he's like, I'm sorry, you're not going nowhere. And then just analyzes. Seems you have weaknesses at this level of radiation. And then just, again, summons something out there and say, all right, later, have fun. This time he doesn't kill him. The problem here is that Rick has no problem fighting dirty and literally can analyze anything and theoretically create anything as a counter response. There's no reason to suggest, even upon a first meeting, who can analyze his biology within a few moments and then properly create the appropriate item to counter him. Unfortunately, yeah. Now, yeah, in a straight fight, Superman's going to completely decimate Rick. There's no question about that. But that's not Superman's style is the problem. Superman would not just be like, he wouldn't just kill him. That's not Superman's style. That is Rick's style, though. So, yeah. Rick would probably just ruin Superman. He'd just wreck him. Rickety, wreck him, son. So, yeah. Either way, though, that is this week's speed or this month's speed round. Join us for next month's speed round. Until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you later.